Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors, the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching us truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakims out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Bracha done. So, this is what's happening as they're beginning to tighten the grip, which is pretty much what's going to happen, especially during this next lockdown, where they will be invoking the military to go door to door to force inoculations, and they're going to step up everything else. And that's what's happening here. White House Chinese virus response coordinator says it's time to impose vaccine requirements. In briefing Monday, the Biden Chinese virus response coordinator, Jeffrey Zionist, announced that it's time to impose some requirements where CV vaccines are concerned. So, yeah. And it's beginning to have a domino effect everywhere. So, Zionist referred to Biden's comments from last week where the latter talked about giving people cash in advance for being vaccinated, but added that this doesn't go far enough, So, they tried to give you the reward at first, but now they're going to show you what kind of bastards they really are. Showing you what kind of devil they are. But in addition to incentives, it's time to impose some requirements based on the relatives of different risks, which they're saying you're at risk if you're not, but it's the ones that are actually spreading the fucking disease, if you believe in it, But we could have told you it was a hoax from the beginning. I think we did. Employers are losing patience with the unvaccinated workers. Well, that's what they want you to believe. Anyhow, because, again, only essential businesses are the ones that are really running this shit. See, the reason for the non-essential, why they had to shut down, is because they would never enforce draconian measures like this, but only the big ones like Amazon and Walmart. Yeah, they'll be glad to stick something in you. For months, most U.S. employers relied on information campaigns, bonuses, and other incentives to encourage their workforces to get the shot. Now a growing number are imposing rules to make it more erroneous for employers to refuse. From outright mandates requiring the unvaccinated to undergo regular testing. Well, just stepping the pressure up. But it's going to get worse because, your travel. Look at this. Severe travel warning for U.S., Italy, France, and Greece delayed. Beginning next Wednesday, travelers from some 18 additional countries will be required to quarantine even if they've been fully inoculated. So it didn't matter anyways. You still got a fucking goddamn test. And wear a mask because you're a retard. Hey man, this is the time. This time is to try all men, And we already know that, we ain't going to be traveling anywhere. Israeli state placed the U.S., France, Italy, France, they said it twice, right? Germany, Greece, and several other countries under severe travel warning. So the Zionists, who run everything, see, this shows you right here. Welfare and Health Committee approved on Tuesday afternoon following the recommendation by the Health Ministry. So this proves to you that at least the flock is the one running the show. Starting from August 11, there's that date again. Starting from August 11, all travelers entering the Israeli state from these countries are going to be required to isolate for a minimum of 7 days if they are fully inoculated or recovered. So, what goes on in the Israeli state? Well, that's going on to the rest of the world. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio will mandate CV vaccines for certain indoor activities. So here it is, man. It's a lot more than the fucking stupid ass shows that you pay a huge price to go to. The order goes into effect August 16 with full enforcement beginning September 13. De Blasio said the mandate, known as the Key to New York City Pass, would encourage increased immunizations to combat the spread of the Chinese virus. Mostly Delta and Lambda, but it's mostly dealing with the Delta. Which just means It's a code that basically means that Operation Doc Winner. The mayor's order comes just a day after Blasio mandated vaccines for all of the city's new hires. But even more so, you know, because it started with the music festivals, right? With Delta, it is even safe to go to music festivals or outdoor concerts. Here's what the experts say, so they're probably going to shut this down soon. Outdoor music festival Lollapalooza brought thousands of people to Chicago's Grant Park. Photographs from Lollapalooza, which took place from Wednesday to Sunday, show large groups of unmasked concert goers cheering in densely packed crowds. Organizers have not released official attendance numbers, but over 100,000 people were expected to attend each day at the 4-day festival. Unvaccinated individuals had to show proof of a negative CV test. See, it ain't worth it. Within 72 hours of attending and wear a mask. So you still had to wear a mask. So those people that ain't masked are those, and then they're going to say, oh, all these people tested positive that attended this concert, because that's what's coming. We're among the vaccinated, right? Because they're the only ones not wearing a mask. Because they'll never say that the mask doesn't work, right? See, it's all about Trev. Required vaccination or a negative COVID test is not enough to ensure safety, you know, safety in numbers, you know, New World Order. Appeals Court upholds Indiana University's vaccine mandates. So there you go, man. You know, if you don't got the jab, you ain't going to the university. I mean, I can't learn, you know, this bullshit, you know, about bullshit America and the rest of the world and the bullshit American dream when it's all fucking bullshit to begin with. You mean I can't learn their bullshit? You know? Hey, you just turn on the TV and you'll see bullshit. It's all bullshit and it's bad for you. As George Carlin used to say, right? A federal court of appeals ruled Monday that Indiana University can proceed with its plan to require all students and employers to get jabbed for the Chinese virus, in which is the court's decisions regarding college immunization mandates. So, there you have it. And it's going to be ruled everywhere. Graham, first vaccinated senator to test positive for the Crown Royal. Yeah, but you don't think that it's a possibility that these tests are rigged? Nah. Who listens to prophets nowadays, right? Senator Lindsey Graham has become the first senator to disclose a breakthrough infection after being vaccinated against the Chinese virus, saying Monday he is very glad he received the vaccine. Without his current symptoms would be far worse. Oh, okay, so, oh yeah, I might have tested positive, but it's not as bad because I took the shot. And people are stupid enough to believe this fucking retard, right? Yeah, they take everything else up the ass, right? New York City orders restaurants and gyms to demand proof of vaccination from all customers. So, there you have it. You know, your diners and everything else. Mayor de Blasio has officially announced plans to implement his first in the U.S. policy requiring proof of CV vaccination in order to participate in indoor activities like dining indoors and going to the gym. So it's coming, you know. This is eventually going to be nationwide. As the NYT reported earlier, the policy will be phased in this month, taking full effect when school returns in September. And it doesn't take long for it to be a nationwide thing. So, you know, enjoy this while you can. Because eventually, we ain't going to be able to go to them places anymore. Because the elect aren't going to get it. They will not take the mark of his name. U.S. employers ratchet up the pressure on the unvaccinated. So, I think I read this already, but yeah, it's from another, this is from the Associated Press, right? You see the picture here. Proof of vaccination required for indoor dining. Employers are losing their patience with the unvaccinated workers. Yeah, it's pretty much the same story. Because they all pretty much say the same thing. You know, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, most likely it's a duck. So we're going to realize that it's a duck. CDC says 7-day average of daily U.S. Chinese virus cases surpassed peak seen last summer. Oh, okay, so it's a peak high, you know, because and this is a lot higher than it was last year, even though the so-called vaccine came out, right? U.S. hits 70% vaccination rate, a month behind schedule as Delta continues to surge. The United States on Monday hits Joe Biden's goal of administering at least one dose of CV-19 vaccine to 70% of American adults. So a lot of people are telling him to suck his dick. You know, suck my dick. Eat shit, motherfucker. You ain't the fucking president anyways, you know. Things like that. So you might be getting a little bit of blowback, you know. Because after all, Joe Blow is another one of his names, right? And he does blow. As eviction moratorium expires, here are the states where renters are at most risk. Yeah, so these landlords have already cashed in. And wouldn't you know that it's mostly Jake that is getting kicked out of them places? They couldn't wait to get him out. A nationwide moratorium on evictions expired on Saturday, with housing advocates warning that millions of Americans are at risk of losing their homes. As many as 11 billion people are behind on rent, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. See, that's just it though, is the ride is over. Now it's time to pay the piper, pretty much. This is only going to be temporary. You thought, oh, okay, I could ease up and I could get a little ahead on this instead of paying your rent, so you thought you'd get ahead on everything else. Or you just bought a bunch of stupid shit. Well, this is what's happening. As many as 11 million people are behind on rent, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. The left-leaning think tank estimates that about 60% of U.S. households are behind on rent, double the delinquency rate before the pandemic. See, people should have been taking the stimulus money and actually paying their rent. And they didn't. Landlords, tenants fill courts as eviction moratorium ends. See, they can't wait to get these people out. Gaten Mada, 74-year-old gook from Long Island, Rhode Island, had come to court hoping to get his apartment back. He was tired of waiting for federal rental assistance and wandered ahead. I'm pretty sure he's a gook. It sounds like he's a gook. Well, could be an Edomite. Who gives a fuck, right? He was tired of waiting for the federal assistance and wondered, how long are they going to get away with it? I'm going to be homeless all because of this pandemic, Virtus said. Now, that is definitely a Jake's name. I feel helpless, like I can't do anything even though I work and I got a full-time job. Yeah, because these people couldn't get you out. And even if you did pay the rent, they would have got you out anyways. Because again, you know, it's the Most High is bringing out this judgment because you didn't listen. Here we've been out there, we've been telling you what was going to come, but you didn't listen, you didn't take heed. Too late now. You will be evicted. It happened to me, even though I was paying the rent. It can happen to you. Don't the righteous get punished first? AKA chastised? Iran's Ibrahim Raisi starts presidency as new crisis grips the Persian Gulf. Ibrahim Raisi will begin his tenure after he's officially confirmed by Ayatollah Khamenei in a televised ceremony ending the 8-year rule of Hassan Rouhani. So they have a new leader, pretty much. The cleric will immediately have to deal with intensifying international pressure over the deadly attack on a vessel transiting the Persian Gulf, which the U.S. and others have blamed on Iran, which is a false flag. See, that's what they do. And signal his intentions for stalled diplomatic efforts to save the landmark atomic accord. Yeah, so, yeah, you got newer leaders over there. And this World War III is going to be kicking off very shortly here. So you know that we can say it, that the vaccine, receiving that, you know, pretty much you're going to be judged right there in World War III. Because that's what's coming to all of you that believe not the words of this prophecy. Panamanian flagger tanker reported hijacked by Iranian forces off UAE course. So, you know, I had to read a little bit more of this because, again, you know, this is what's happening. A group of 8 or 9 armed individuals are believed to have boarded the vessel named Asphalt Princess, the security source told Sky News. It was an unauthorized boarding in the Gulf of Oman, the security source said. there is no British link to the tanker. So pretty much though, continued skirmishes in the Valley of Hawashapot, which is right there in the Persian Gulf. Iran summons British Romanian envoys to protest false accusations over oil tanker attack. You know, so indeed it is a false flag. Iran's foreign ministry has summoned Britain's charge d'affaires and Romania's ambassador to convey to them Tehran's strongest protest at false accusations leveled against the Islamic Republic in relation with the Thursday attack on an Israeli-owned ship in the Sea of Oman. See, so it's just basically a false flag. You know, and you've been hearing about this for a while. See, that's all that the Israeli state does. Just like Assad's supposed to have chemical weapons, right? And it was the same thing Saddam had, chemical weapons. QSD prevents farmers from reaching their agricultural lands in Deir ez-Zor. Is it because they want synthetic beef, synthetic meat, and they want everything to be GMO crops? A plan of the Gates-Melinda Foundation? Yeah, I think so. That's why he's involved in just about everything that's corrupt. Because he is a Rothschild, by the way. U.S.-backed QSD militias continues its criminal practices against the civilians in the areas it occupies in Syria and Al Jazeera, preventing farmers from reaching their farmlands and harvesting their crops. Local sources told Syrian Arab News Agency reported that militants from QSD militia prevented farmers in Al Sabah town in Deir ez-Zor eastern countryside to reach their agricultural lands and to harvest their crops, in addition to fulfilling other agricultural activities. The sources added that those acts by QSD aimed to exert pressure on the civilians and enforce them to cooperate with the militia and recruit the youth of clans to fight within its ranks in implementation to the U.S. terrorist schemes, in addition to pushing whoever refuses to leave their areas to siege their properties and later issue false certified documents for the issue. Yep, just like they do over here, man. Same devil, you know. And of course, this is from another brother, and his channel is Bakar Ahmad. And it's just basically it, tightening the grip. We know what this means, so just take it from here. And I hope all this has been edifying like everything else, though. You know, just look for me on BitChute in case they take this video down. You know, I read from cited sources, Associated Press, Jerusalem Post, etc. But for some reason, when I do that, they say that that's misinformation, even though the articles that I just read, you said that it's the vaccinated that are actually spreading the spread, that are spreading it. So I read from insightful sources, but you know how they say that's misinformation. Don't speak against this. Yeah, I should tell everybody to go get it, even though it does you no bit of good. Right. So look for me on BitChute. They're probably going to take it down anyways. I wouldn't expect anything different from these jackoffs.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Yachad Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect.
Salakia, I'm just going to lower that a little bit because that's a little bit too loud for this video.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Yachad Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, want to do this lesson, alright, dealing with they're tightening the grip. Okay? They're tightening the grip. And you know, this is based off of a couple of videos that I was watching, you know, and what's going on in Russia, in France, in Greece, in the UK, alright, and soon to follow many other countries. Alright, you can see, alright, how these you know, these higher ups, okay, these top elites passing those orders on down are tightening the grip by using these various different governments. Okay, and it's getting to the point because, you know, about last year, alright, 2020, yeah, last year, all right, when we were warning, okay, we mentioned that this is what they would come with. Now the Lord had it to where, we were, of course, there's a reason we prophesied, we said before. Okay, now it didn't happen right then and there. It didn't happen right as soon as they gave the emergency, authorization use of the injection. All right, but that doesn't mean that those things are not going to happen. That doesn't mean that the concentration camps and the rounding ups and so on and so forth is not going to happen just because it didn't happen right then and there. All right, because remember, these devils have a tactic that we always say it over and over again, which is gradualism. All right, they don't move too fast. They try to make sure they have you trapped, and then they bring the pressure from above and pressure from below. Okay, to try and get as many people as possible and reduce resistance as much as possible. Okay, and so now we're starting to see, all right, that tightening. Okay, now we're starting to see that insurrection, so to speak, coming geared towards those that really, if you look at it on a grand scale, you can say are against the agenda, right? Because this push that they're pushing is for an agenda, is for a reason. All right, and when you say that you're not down with it, but you are standing firm because you actually believe in something and you're actually not with it, you are against that agenda, and those are the ones that they're coming for. If you pay attention to the language they're using and the direction and who they're targeting specifically, all right, through they claim misinformation, and what they're doing is they're demonizing, all right, the term, or they're making it sound as worse as possible. That's how these devils move. They make it sound as worse as possible, as bad as possible, so that when they label you under that category, you're basically finished at that point. They don't even need to demonize you personally, all right? If they can, put the worst connotation, the worst definition behind a term, all they have to do is put you under that term, and your credibility, all that is gone. Okay? So that's why they're pushing the misinformation, saying that it's taking lives and this, that, and the third, But this is the book, and the scriptures warn, all right, of this. And it's going to go past just talking, and them backing off whenever people start coming back. No, now that's what it means, them coming down with great wrath. That's what it means by that. This is the book of Ezekiel 21:9. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Okay? And the sword is being sharpened. All right, now the scriptures tell you that the wicked, basically Esau is the sword, all right, of the Lord, roughly paraphrasing. Okay? Deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, so that is being sharpened by way of the Lord putting these different thoughts into these Edomites, all right, really starting with their elites to push out more and more and more and more of their events, okay, and tactics and devices that they forecast in which they're going to actually implement with force. Okay? That's why it says they're going to come down with great wrath. Verse 10, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. Okay, so this sword, let me actually finish it. It says, this sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. So this is a warning, all right, telling you that they're not just putting all this out there. You're not just seeing all this just for nothing. What you're seeing is a sword being sharpened, and it's coming straight for you. That sword slaughter is going to be a lot of people. Okay? It ain't going to be for some invisible enemy. All right? You don't put a pathogen, so to speak, right, in a concentration camp. You put people in concentration camps. So why do they have these centers set up? It ain't to isolate. No, they claim, all right, well, we're isolating the virus itself. Well, no, really, they're putting you in there. You know, and then they say that's containing it because you may have it or you may not. To them, if you don't have the injection, then guess what? You're as good as you have it. You know, and they in their mind, well, we don't want to take any chances. Now, there was an individual. I think it might have been a sister because the way the name was, but you know, if it isn't, you know, pardon me for that. But it's the name was I think it was Guinevere Jackson, if I said that right. Okay, and this individual basically left a comment saying that what they're doing over there. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so they said the tests in Europe to travel cost about 180. I'll just say dollars because that's the sign that's here. It says cost about $180 you need there. Okay, so convert it over there. I'm assuming it'll be worth $180 here. It says one to travel, another when you get back, then another 10 days later. If you travel to a amber zone, you have to quarantine for 10 days in a special hotel that costs nearly $2,000. They said my travel days are now over, you know, and yeah, pretty much. So if you're paying, if I'm understanding this correctly, if you're paying $180 for a test to get there, all right, to travel, right, you got to get one to leave. You got to get one when you get back, and then you got to get one 10 days later. And they're saying that they're not going to be covering it no more, you know. So now the push is on, a part of the tightening, okay? How much are you willing to pay to stay away? Really, I should title the video that, you know, but how much are you willing to pay, you know, to stay free? Because they're going to make it difficult. They're going to make it very difficult because in order for them to make it at least believable as they slowly push towards tyrannical, they still have to give you the full sense of option, right? They still have to make you feel as though, well, you know, even if you don't have the bite, you know, you can you know, you can have a test that has a negative result, but now the test is damn near $500. See, so now indirectly they're squeezing you because now you're saying, oh my gosh, I just want to go into a supermarket, and then I think they said this in France, but what they're going to start doing is reducing the test intervals. So I think for one of them it was 24 hours. They cut it down from 48 hours or from 72 hours to a 24-hour, meaning your test has to have been taken within the past 24 hours. Anything past that is not valid. So now let's say you want to go to anywhere, right? Maybe a supermarket. You just want to buy groceries. In order to get in there, you either need a bite or you need to show a negative result, right? Now, you show a negative result, they check it, they say, no, this is a week old. You got to go get a new one for today. You go get a new one, they tell you it's about $350. What? I got to pay $350 for it, and I'm just giving an example scenario here. All right, but I got to pay $350 for a test just so I can go into a grocery store today to buy stuff. And then what? The next time I want to go somewhere, if I want to go somewhere tomorrow, all right, and it's after that 24-hour period, now I got to go get another hold up. What? So people start getting, it's too much. I don't have the money for that, you know? And that's a coercion tactic. Well, if you don't have the money, then do the simple thing and just go get the bite. You get it one time or twice, megabyte, you know, and then you're straight. You're good. You don't got to keep spending money on this. Once again, it's different ways to get people to do it. All right. And now, as I said, we're seeing this right here, Revelation 13 and 11. All right, and it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now, this beast, okay, the second beast that's coming up, we know, all right, overall it represents this modern day power structure, all right, which is really ran, you know, by the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, all right, the European Union, the EU, okay, but it's more so specifically in this verse referring to Babylon, all right, aka America, which you can say is the heart, all right, of this beast, okay, and the two horns are referring on to the two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, notice it says the horns were like a lamb, all right, but they speak as a government. Now, regardless of which horn it is, they're both a part of this government, all right. So speak as a dragon. They come up. Now, when Creepy Joe, Sleepy Joe was running, you had a lot of people rallying behind him, right? Especially a lot of Israelites, and they set it up perfectly. Put somebody in there who people hate or people can easily dislike. Let him do the most outrageous things. Perfect. Now that he's done that, get somebody who on a regular circumstance, people wouldn't really eye him or try to go for him. But in this circumstance, the mindset is anything to get rid of Trump. Anything. Even if it means that, then all of a sudden, what does that do? That highlights and puts Biden in a nice, beautiful spot. He says the slightest thing and everybody, yes, as long as it ain't Donald. And then what? Like a lamb, they rallied him up, threw him up in there. Oh yes, he's gonna make a change. Yeah, after the election date, everybody's all celebrating. I remember celebrating all this, that, and the third. Yeah. Guess what? He's gonna start speaking like a dragon, which he's already started. They're coming door to door. They're gonna start rounding people up. Yes, they will. Okay, and he's gonna authorize all of these things. And then what? What happened to the celebration? We want to see the celebrations then. We want to see the fireworks. We want to see the yay, hooray! We finally got a change. We want to see all you Israelites that were rallying behind them. Go ahead, get in your cars, go out, have a good time. As these mandates become more and more draconian, and you start getting affected. Okay, but as it says, and he spake as a dragon. That's a part of the tightening. Okay, that's a part of the tightening. Them making more draconian penalties. All right, for ridiculous laws that don't make sense to follow, but if you break them, the penalties are very harsh. All right, that's what they're doing. Okay, you best believe it's gonna come here, because in France, they're saying now that after the mandate and the Macron gave that speech or whatnot, people who registered to get the bite, the numbers have skyrocketed. It has risen up. So what does that tell you? That's their justification. There's a reason they're putting that out there. They're saying, hey, look, this works. You want numbers to go up? Well, start doing what France did, because this is the result. When you leave people no choice, guess what? They're gonna do it. They just need and they'll put it. They just need a little bit of a push. And then soon, the next country's, oh, well, all right, well, let's do it. Oh, look, our numbers went up too. Oh, look, our numbers went up too. Okay. Now the whole world is in that mindset doing that. Okay, mandating shit left and right. And here it is, the number of people who originally at first were against it, in the beginning might be a lot. But what you'll see is it starts to shrink, and it starts to shrink, and it starts to shrink even more and more and more. Right? Because, okay, I ain't gonna do it. First week, I ain't gonna do it. Second week, then things start getting harder. Then it gets harder. Then the squeeze, then the squeeze, then the squeeze. All right, and it gets even more and more tempting. This is why we're gonna need the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to hold us through, because a lot of people are gonna break. Okay, they're gonna break. A lot of this resistance. All right, yeah, you're still gonna have resistance. There are still gonna be people who are gonna be diehard. Ready to fight back. Against all odds. But they are tightening that grip, and you better get ready. We've been warning you. Matter of fact, we've been warning ourselves. We all need to get ready, okay? Because hey, it's doable, all right, and we're expected to stand firm onto the end, and Lord willing, we do. But it's not going to be the sweetest, easiest thing. The Lord has a different path set for all of us, okay? And you will be in certain uncomfortable situations where you're out of your comfort zone. And you have to prepare to get used to that. You might not be in a house. No AC. It's hot as shit. No heater. It's cold as hell. Which hell is not cold. But anyway, so just, things are going to get, not as easy to do. And you have to be prepared for that. And this is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21, which links up with the horns like a lamb. Because a lamb isn't perceived as dangerous. All right, lamb is not perceived as dangerous. Really, it's perceived as like a prey. But that perception was through things like this. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, and they know how to slip things past you. They know how to tell you, I'm going to kill you, without telling you, I'm going to kill you. All right? Sometimes they're so slick with their words, they know how to get you to sign your life away and agree for them to do what they really want to do to you. Because their words were smoother than butter. And if you don't have the spirit to be able, first off, that's why the scriptures first warn you not to trust the enemy. Because if you see them as your enemy, your senses will be higher whenever they say anything. You're always looking to see and nitpick everything they say because they're your enemy. You don't trust it already. That puts you in a better position. If you don't see it that way, guess what? It's going to slip by you because you're not expecting him to try and slip some slick shit by you. Okay? It says, but war was in his heart. And we know that. We know that war is in his heart. So we're waiting for him to say something or slip up or any indication, which we're seeing. So the smoother than butter, well, guess what? It ain't going to slip past us. All right? It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Unless you have the spirit of the Lord, you won't see the swords. You know? And people just fall right for it. So you wait till the world is going to change. It's changing as we're speaking. All right? It's changing as you're listening to this video. It's changing already. And it's going to become a prison planet. It's going to become a scene out of a Black Mirror. And it's going to be hard to believe as you're seeing it before you with people walking around with the MOB in them. All right, people walking around. I mean, things are going to get different. And you got to prepare your mind for that. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 124, verse 7. And as it says here, actually, I'm going to start off at 6. Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, who hath not given us as a prey to their teeth. Because they're coming. But the Lord has not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowler, or out of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped. And that's for the elect. Everybody else is going to get caught up in it. So this tells you that there's going to be a trap. That's given. The thing is, are you gonna be able to escape out of that trap? Is the Lord going to free you from that trap? Verse 8, our help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. So if you are, not teaching the name of the Lord, or you don't believe in the name of the Lord, that's already a loss for you. If you don't believe in his son, if you have any faults, that's not going to end well for you. Okay? So one more I have here, because this is dealing with the elect. They're going to be delivered. But the rest, guess what? And the rest were blinded. Right? So let's read that here. This is 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And our gospel contains not only of, letting you know you're an Israelite, letting you know the blessings to come, but also of the warnings. It's a part of the gospel. It is good news to be warned. Regardless of how terrifying it may sound, it's good news because you have a heads up. And on top of that, you're being given, all right, and told the path you can take to escape possibly all these calamities. So if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. If you can't see it, if you can't get it, if it's hid from your mind, then you're lost. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. And they have been blinded, all right, by Esau's lies, his pseudoscience, his actors, and they've been blinded because they believe not. Their mind wasn't stable and rooted in a belief, which is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And so they were blinded. Lest the light of glorious gospel, or lest the light of the glorious gospels of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine onto them. So the Lord purposely blinded them so that they wouldn't see. They wouldn't see the way, the path, the truth. And because of that, a lot of them are going to get caught up as well. See, it sounds as though this is really coming for those that believe. Oh my gosh, why is this persecution and this hell going to come on those that believe? Understand this. This devil is going to try to come after us. But we're going to have a defense that comes from the Lord. The Lord is going to come after this world. But who's going to defend them against the Lord? Because Jacob's trouble is not going to be just Esau coming down with this, that, and the third, only on the elect or the men of the Lord. No, the Lord, the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is going to be getting down on everybody. And he's going to use Esau to do certain things, but even Esau going to get that work. Now, like I said, our defense is in the Lord. Esau going to come after us, but the Lord will defend us. Now, when the Lord comes after you, who will defend you? That is the question. So if we got to go first, where they persecute us and come after us first, so be it. We have a defense. But when it's time for you to go do it, well, we know what it says in Isaiah 65 and 13 on down, right? My servant shall eat, ye shall hunger, my servant shall drink, ye shall thirst, my servant shall rejoice for joy of heart, and you shall howl for sorrow of heart and vexation of spirit. And see who defends you then. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.
And that's another thing. Chastisement sometimes can feel like it's judgment, when all in all, it's a test, okay? Chastisement is more as a test. But to the rest of the world, it's a judgment because they didn't heed the warnings. You know, I just wanted to make clarification of that because I had made mention earlier that, you know, these eviction moratoriums coming to an end and how I was kicked out unlawfully. But it was a chastisement of that time because we see that the rest, the 2/3, are now getting kicked out. So he chastises those he loves and he judges those that obviously he doesn't love, that he ain't dealing with. For that I want to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abad Babal. And look for me on BitChute for the next one. Shalom.